All right, you legends, this right here is a Piper Cub. It's a classic, a piece of history. But learning to fly it on a soft, unforgiving grass field is considered one of the trickiest skills in all of aviation. My instructor decided to throw me straight into the deep end. And for a while there, it genuinely felt like I was drowning. This isn't a story about being perfect. This is what it really looks like to learn a skill that wants to fight you every single step of the way. The day's mission was simple on paper: execute several soft field landings on some remote grass strips. The plane was anything but simple, a 1940s Piper J5 Cub, a classic Taildragger. Now, unlike the modern planes most pilots train on, the Cub's third wheel is at the back. This tiny design difference completely changes everything. It shifts the center of gravity behind the main wheels, making the plane inherently unstable on the ground. It has a constant nagging desire to swap ends in a vicious pivot called the ground loop. It means you don't stop flying a Taildragger just because the wheels have touched down. You have to actively fly it all the way to the hangar until the ropes are tied. Landing on soft grass makes it even trickier. The surface is uneven and wants to grab your wheels. The biggest danger is catching the wheel and dragging the nose in, a mistake that would instantly turn the beautiful prop into a pile of expensive scrap metal. The technique demands a delicate balance. You have to land as slowly as humanly possible, holding the nose high, letting the wings generate lift until the very last second. You're trying to gently kiss the ground with minimal energy, not just arrive on it. And that delicate art was exactly what I was here to learn. The struggle, though. My first attempt at a landing was a rude wake-up call. The next were a masterclass in humility, to say the least. My first glaring mistake was carrying too much speed. I was impatient, wanted to be on the ground, but the moment the wheels touched, they didn't stick. Instead, we were launched back in the air with a jarring bounce. My instructor was the picture of a calm, a little power, he coached. Let it fly again, then we'll settle, he explained. I was trying to force it onto the runway. A bounce isn't a failure. It's just the wing telling you it isn't done flying yet. As if that wasn't enough, on the second approach, a crosswind decided to join the party. Suddenly the task became exponentially more complex. I had to wrestle with the rudder pedals to keep the nose pointed straight down the runway, while simultaneously banking into the wind just to keep from drifting off the center line. My feet were a chaotic mess, dancing on the pedals with no rhythm. We touched down sideways, crooked. The soft grass was forgiving, thankfully, but my heart was pounding in my chest. Then true frustration began to set in. I overcorrected on the next attempt, getting too slow on the approach. I misjudged the height and suddenly felt that sickening stomach in your throat sensation of the plane sinking, falling out of the sky. Go around was the immediate sharp command from the right seat, or really from the back seat. Climbing away from the runway felt like a complete defeat, but it was absolutely the right call. My instructor's voice was steady, cutting through my frustration. You got behind the power curve. The air wasn't there for you. Shake it off, we'll get the next one. Climbing back up into the pattern, something finally shifted inside me. The hot frustration began to cool, dissolving into a kind of quiet, focused determination. My instructor's words echoed in my head: stop fighting it, feel for it, let the airplane settle. I realized I was trying to think my way to the ground, trying to solve it like a math problem. On the next attempt, I made a conscious effort to relax my white knuckle grip, to be looser on the controls. As I brought the power back over the runway threshold, I felt the plane sink into the magical cushion of air just above the ground effect. This time I refused to force it. I just held the controls and let the plane ride that cushion, floating 1 foot or 2 feet off the ground. And then it clicked. It was a revelation. This isn't about landing the plane. It's about flying the airplane as slowly as it can possibly fly, right on the ragged edge of a stall. And simply letting it run out of air an inch above the ground. The nose was pitched so high I could barely see over it, flying entirely by my peripheral vision. The stall warning horn wasn't chirping anymore. It was a solid, angry, continuous tone in my ear. And then a gentle thump, not a bounce, not a slam, just a soft, solid 3-point landing, all 3 wheels kissing the grass at the exact moment. I kept the stick pulled all the way back into my stomach, and a massive, uncontrollable grin spread across my face. My instructor just nodded slowly. "There it is," he said. "You felt it that time. Let's go." This next one was attempt number 5, I believe. Somewhere in there, 5, 6. The crosswind was still there, a persistent challenge, but this time it felt familiar, manageable. The approach wasn't tentative, it was confident. I knew what I had to do. I transitioned into a graceful wing-low slip, dipping one wing into the wind to counteract the drift, using the opposite rudder to keep the nose perfectly aligned with the grassy centerline. My feet and hands were finally working together. It felt coordinated, not chaotic. I flared, held it, floating in ground effect, and patiently let the speed bleed off, second by second. The upwind wheel touched first, then the other, main. Then the tail wheel settled onto the grass as light as a feather as we rolled out, tracking straight and true down the runway. The feeling was just pure, unadulterated awesomeness. It was the best landing of the day by a country mile. Mastering a skill like this isn't about one perfect moment. It's about the struggle, the bounces, the go-arounds. That's where the real learning is. If you enjoy seeing what it takes to learn these incredible skills, subscribe to this channel. I'm documenting this whole process, the good, the bad. I'd love to have you along for the ride. After we shut down the engine, the sudden ringing silence felt profound. In that quiet, I reflected on this lesson. More than anything, I learned about patience. You can't bully a taildragger onto the ground. You have to persuade it, convince it that it's time to stop flying. My instructor confirmed it. Stabilized approach is everything. It's a razor-thin line between too fast and too slow. For a few beautiful moments, I finally found it. Walking away from the classic plane, I realized some of the most important skills in life can't be learned from a book or a manual. They have to be felt. They have to be earned through struggle, through failure, and through those small, beautiful moments when it all finally clicks.